Morning, and we wish you Happy New Year. We want to start by giving an update on the returns surrounding the New Year celebrations, how it was ushered in Uganda, and then we proceed with the other activities. But we want to really congratulate you as our partners and to wish you a prosperous and happy New Year. But generally, the New Year celebration was very calm and peaceful. And we would once again like to congratulate all Ugandans and other citizens in the country for having celebrated the New Year in a very peaceful, calm, and healthy manner. We know some sections of the public were saddened to miss this year's fireworks display, crossover prayers, street celebrations, parties, and musical concerts after we blocked all crowd pooling events. The move came as a result of a surge in the highly contagious Omicron variant. Therefore, you want those who are still disappointed to bear with us, but want to greatly thank all religious leaders, dealers in fireworks, hotel owners and managers, events promoters, and all members of the public for their patience and understanding. For those who lost their loved ones during the New Year holiday, we condole and extend our sympathies to them. Now, the new year started with good prospects, including the reopening of the economy, and the joint security agencies anticipate an increase in activities across all sectors, including schools, transport, businesses, mobility, social gatherings, especially during the third week onwards, where we shall have the full opening of the night economy around the 24th of January 2022. Now, although the economy has reopened, we still encourage the public to observe the public health measures in place, especially of social distancing, wearing masks, and proper hygiene. You all remember last year, we anticipated much improvement, including probably the eradication of COVID-19 when the vaccines arrived, but unfortunately, we witnessed the arrival of other variants like the Delta variant and now the Omicron, which are active and also dangerous. As a result, we want to thank members of the community who made their plans COVID safe and compliant and celebrated in a responsible manner. It is, however, disappointing that there are some people who still remained reckless and disregarded the rules, which prompted us to disrupt some activities. There were some concerts which we disrupted because they were in total disregard of the rules that we agreed upon. We raided a number of bars. People still have the courage to stealthily go in some of these bars and even hold discos, so those ones we managed to disrupt, and we even carried out arrests where necessary. A total of 1,452 pedestrians were arrested during the course of the New Year and the entire week. And then 1,054 motorists were also had their motor vehicles impounded. And then a total of 1,886 border riders also had sanctions taken against them. Now, during this year, the Uganda police would like to adopt better usage of new technology. We are going to expand the community policing and neighborhood watch and see more progress in tackling rural crime. Rural crime has become a matter of concern, and it is one of those areas where we are going to focus our priorities this year. We are therefore going to reach out to all sectors, communities to join efforts with us and help us drive crime out of their areas. We also want to thank members of the joint security agencies for their courage and determination. Most of these were working 24/7 away from their families, but they managed to keep Ugandans and all other citizens safe during the new year. We are hopeful that this year, 2022, is going to be different. Once again, the IGP wishes all Ugandans a prosperous, successful, and a happy new year. We have 4 more suspects behind the deadly attacks on police officers who were arrested. We've also managed to recover 1 more gun, bringing the total number of recovered guns to 3, and we are still pursuing members of the newly formed rebel group with the purpose of recovering the other 2 guns which are out there. So the gun that we recovered is the second gun that had been robbed from Busunju, Sekanyonyi. And so in addition, the total number of persons arrested as members of the newly formed rebel group is now 33. And we are going to mention 2 out of the 4 whom we arrested. We have Ogere Alex, is the one who led us to Namagera village in Magogo Parish, Kachiri sub-county, Wakiso, where he had wrapped the gun and hidden it in a garden belonging to a lady called Nanka Jamariam. Out of the 30 rounds of ammunition, they had already used 18, and only 12 rounds of ammunition were recovered together with the gun. Then we also managed to arrest Luanga Samuel Sengonzi from Kasanda. He's the one who hired out to land at Kabusi village, that is in Bukuya, Kasanda, and enabled this new rebel group, the UCFC, to open a camp after they shifted from the 2 camps in Wabunyira and they shifted from Wabunyira and Chikandwa in Mitiana. So he's also arrested and is going to help in our investigations. The public should know that these threats of terrorism and domestic extremism still remain active. For instance, during the new year, if you could have monitored, all our police officers and stations were on standby, because we had anticipated, based on the intelligence that we had gathered, information about extremists targeting our police stations. So we managed to tighten our security posture and prevented any acts of attacks on our police stations. Therefore, it is important that Ugandans remain vigilant and alert. You may think that these people are only targeting police stations, but from the previous incidents, we have seen that they also target other soft and vulnerable areas, like you saw with the attacks on travelers, passengers on buses, the soft spots in Komamboga and these other places. So we have to remain vigilant and work together to fight such enemies who seek to divide Ugandans and spill bloodshed at the same time. So these 33 arrests we've made so far, have helped to disrupt their activities, and it also shows our resolve and commitment to identify, pursue, and arrest all actors of violence in our country. Now, the fact that school is opening, especially the boarding section, we have people who are returning to school beginning Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but officially we expect the reopening of schools on the 10th of January 2022. So the joint security agencies are more than prepared, and we are going to monitor safety and security of school children as the schools open amidst the threat of COVID-19, which requires a lot of caution in balancing the educational needs of students along with their health, safety, and security after a period of almost 2 years. So we want to thank His Excellency the President and all the technocrats from the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Health for coming up with the required SOPs that have been issued to all school administrators from kindergarten up to tertiary level. So we encourage all schools to strictly follow the public health guidelines issued for safe learning amidst the COVID-19 environment. What is encouraging is that our country, Uganda, had actually made significant progress in tackling the spread of COVID-19 from the first phase to where we are now. The other encouraging bit is that the vaccination rates are improving, which will help all eligible persons lower the risk of Ugandans and other citizens in the country from getting severe risks of illness. But vaccination just remains one part. There are still breakthrough infections that can come in even when you're vaccinated. So we should continue sticking to the other health SOPs of social distancing, washing hands with soap, and also wearing face masks. Those who are in schools should at least have very good ventilation, screening, contact tracing inside the school and probably outside. Therefore, the success of this school year will depend on the school administrators, the education officials, students, parents, all stakeholders in fighting this. Now, usually, as students are returning to school, we use this opportunity to remind them about certain security tips that we give to parents, guardians, teachers about the safety of children. So this first term means increased activities in teaching and learning and many other academic preparations. It also means waking up very early to transport children to school. Now this brings about congestion on the roads due to rush hours of dropping and picking children. Therefore, all schools are reminded to review their security emergency preparations, supervision, and other safety fundamentals. The visitor procedures and how to access school buildings is a high priority area. And now with the COVID, they really need to be very, very strict and highly restrict visitations because of the COVID environment that they are going to operate in. Now, we also tend to use this opportunity to remind especially the matrons to examine all children upon their return to school for any signs of child abuse during their holiday, especially the girl victims. Most of those tend to go to school and they keep quiet, and yet they are taken through sessions of torture and abuse while at home. For those who transport their children to school, it is important to walk with them and teach them safe habits around the drop zones or in their classrooms. It is a danger that some parents remain in their vehicles and ask the children to cross the roads and enter the school premises, which is risky because at these drop zones, there are other dangers, including reckless driving, that can get the children injured. Children transported on motorcycles are required to wear helmets, because the number of head and brain injuries to children are out of failure to use helmets.